Memphis, we thought they had it all wrapped up here, but Luka, he's got a nickname, it's Luka Magic, and this is exactly why. The man ain't tripping, except that he is, but he still makes the shot. That buzzer beater confirmed it was behind the line. Luka finished with 29. Dallas wins 114-113. And look at these tweets.
Yeah, look, Memphis, that's all you can say.
That's all you can, exactly.
You stuck.
And LeBron is just all of us at that point,
LeBron
right?
LeBron always sees, he sees every game. Is there a minute that when he's not playing that he's not watching basketball?
No.
He always comes through with the good tweets.
Let's do another game. We'll move on to the winner from this one, and that is the Don Does It. And before y'all start giving me grief about, he could have been on the Hawks, miss me with that. They are 7th seed in the West. So we're moving on to the fact that that Luka is now just the third person since he got drafted in the 2018-19 season to have multiple buzzer beaters. The other two, well, one Dame Lillard, and the other, Bojan Bogdanovic. So
yeah, I would have guessed that. Winner, been there, done that. Can we just appreciate this celebration?
Look at that.
Can we just appreciate the
Let's
absolute
go.
ice in his veins? He doesn't run. He doesn't jump on a table. He barely celebrates. He's walking, people.
Because it's normal.
for him, yeah, it feels like it.
Loser, missed opportunity. Grayson Allen had 2 free throw opportunities to seal the game, but instead misses both of them, allowing Luka to have the opportunity to win the game, which he certainly did.
And he
if
had
they
a
won.
footing there, too.
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate for Grayson Allen.
Is it, though?
You'll remember.
It's from Duke.
I see where you're going.
All right. The game just really wasn't what we expected. Brooklyn, Philly, the Nets severely undermanned. They didn't have Harden, they didn't have KD, Griffin, Aldridge. So the spotlight on Joel Embiid, who helped his MVP chances by putting up 39 points and 13 rebounds. And Tobias Harris, he looked good too. He had 26 of his own, a 123-117 win, moving Philly into first place in the East.
Yeah, man.
What's up with these Nets?
Look, they'll figure it out once everybody gets back. I ain't worried about them, but the winner of Embiid is a very real case to be made. That 39-13 that you said, Charlie, it was done in about 3/4 of work. He only had to come back in to make sure they finished this thing on out. He hit half of his threes. He was getting everything that he wanted. He got to the line for 11 attempts. This is a dude that's going to have to carry the Sixers in this postseason run. We'll see if he can keep this campaign for the individual award going.
I got a winner. Furk, yeah, that's what I got on my
Check
shirt
out this
right here. My fellow Turkish brethren, Furkan Korkmaz. Korkmaz, by the way, in Turkish translates to fearless, and he has fearlessly changed up his game in the last couple of weeks, so much so, keeping it simple, stupid, the KISS method, so much so that Doc Rivers has literally given him some love, and I got love on Reddit, apparently. I'm on Reddit with this.
And he made this shirt. Artem made this shirt today.
I did, from scratch.
Loser moral victory, and that's an ironic sort of twist for Brooklyn here. Now, I want to be clear, Philly essentially dominated in large part of this game, but in those last 8 minutes and 20 seconds, Nets bench went to work. 21 of the 27 points scored in that time frame were by the bench. The other 6 were from Landry Shamet.
Time to go around the association, gentlemen.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right, Bucks and Timberwolves. I got 2 words for you. Not those ones, Charlie. First word is...
I'm waiting for it.
Buck, yeah! So the Bucks won by 25 points, second game in a row. They've won by 25 or more, which give them 10 such wins this season, tied for third most in the season in the last 25 years in the NBA. The only teams with more 25-plus point wins, the Spurs and Golden State.
Well, after that, they probably could use the other 2-word phrase as well, but...
It's very, very likely.
Carry
Teenage dream is my other word. Anthony Edwards, 19 years of age, 56 games to hit 1,000 career. He did it on Wednesday. He's the fastest to do it in T-Wolves history, and only the 8th teenager in NBA history to accomplish it, but definitely the first that doesn't know A-Rod.
Also,
Shout out Katy Perry. All right, my word is G-League. And that's really what represented this Pistons-Clippers game. It was a battle of the worst team in the East, damn near in the entire league, against a Clippers squad that had really nobody. No Kawhi, no PG, Ibaka, Patrick Beverly. Detroit didn't even win the game. They blew an 11-point lead, so
Tough.
not great.
Warriors Thunders, not so fast. To quote one Lee Corso, because Steve Curry hit him with that exact sentiment when Steph tried to enter the game in the fourth. But he had 42 points and 11 threes at that point. They were up 42. So yeah, no, sit your behind down. There's no need for you to walk back out there, Steph. It's just...
Yeah, that cooler looks comfy.
It does.
Knicks and Pelicans. Brotherhood is the word here. The Duke buddies, for the first time in the regular season, face each other. RJ Barrett and Zion. And, well, Zion got the better of RJ on the points department, but the Knicks got the game. You see the love there. RJ had a quiet night. Zion did Zion things.
Yes, we have become accustomed to that. Heat Nuggets, we're going to go, we got you, right? So Jamal Murray goes down, torn ACL. You believe that the Nuggets are just going to essentially drop off of a cliff, right? But no. They got plenty of offensive production from the likes of MPJ with 22, Aaron Gordon with 13. So that's the recipe for continued success.
And for more on the NBA, we welcome in Ros Gold-Onwude. And Ros, because I haven't spoken to you since, go Stanford.
Hey, thank you, girl. That's right, go Card. So proud of the sisterhood and Stanford women's basketball. Thank you.
Absolutely, brag on. Well, thanks for coming on SportsNation. Now, we have a lot of things we want to talk to you about. One of the things is the NBA in a little bit of rush mode right now. There's a compressed schedule, which means a lot of injuries seem to be piling up as of lately. So what have you been hearing as far as all that's concerned?
Players are concerned. You know, I've spoken with a couple of players and it's consistent. They absolutely feel that they might be more at risk because of the condensed nature of this season. Now, it's important to point out there aren't actually any statistics that prove that this is the case. It's more of a feel thing for these players. All the players that I spoke to pointed out the inconvenience of these early morning COVID tests, especially after travel or after back-to-backs. They simply just can't catch up on the rest that they're used to. I spoke with one player who said that this season is harder than the bubble season. Now, that bubble season, he said, was definitely challenging mentally because of all of the isolation, but don't forget there was no travel and it was a playoff run after 4 months off. This season is much more physically taxing. It's a smush 72-game season with travel, and one thing he pointed out too is the quality of life on the road is much more restricted and limited as far as their freedoms. So not only is it wearing on them physically and on their bodies, it's also wearing on their minds as well.
Two players in specific have fallen victim to that wear and tear, and Bron and AD. That heavily affects the Lakers roster, obviously. They're currently 5 in the West, but look, there's still 2 weeks before Bron and AD get back. So what's your level of concern for that franchise?
Well, I think the good news is if you get LeBron and AD back and they are actually fully healthy, that's a mega advantage no matter what. But until then, they are super depleted in their front court. You add those two plus the injuries now to Drummond, now to Gasol, plus all the other injuries they have. And for me, it is concerning, especially for one reason when you think about the lack of practice. Coach Vogel has said right now he's focusing on recovery, on keeping guys off their feet and limiting practice. But if you remember at the beginning of the season, this was a Lakers team coming off of a championship run, a quick turnaround, and they also were limiting practice then as well. So essentially, you've got a Lakers team that, for one reason or another, over the course of this season, has not spent a lot of time together physically on the court, working on things. And yeah, they probably are watching a ton of film and video and mentally preparing, but you just hope that this lack of physical work doesn't catch up to them sooner or later.
Well, speaking of players not spending a lot of time physically on the court, you got to look at the Brooklyn Nets, the big three, not playing together much lately. Injury concerns, of course. They played the Sixers. Sixers were able to beat them, but they kept it competitive for much of the game. What were your major takeaways?
Well, I saw a 76ers team that had spurts of dominance, but just mentally couldn't close it out and focus in to close it out and let a very short Nets team hang in there and make it interesting. But they did get the win. So, you know, I like to say a win is 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 a win. So it counts. Right, it counts. But another thing I noticed is, you know, Joel Embiid just looks really darn good, and his candidacy as a front runner for the MVP MVP case is right back where it was at the first half of the season, where I thought after the first half of the season, Joel Embiid was the MVP because of his great conditioning, the shape he was in, his engagement, the efficiency in which he was scoring with, his ability to get to the free throw line over and over again, and of course his presence on the defensive end as well, helped catapult the 76ers to the top of the East and realize their potential, but then he got hurt. What also has helped Joel Embiid is the fact that other MVP candidates have gotten hurt, whether it's been LeBron or Harden was making a case. James Harden is out now. And even the recent injury to Jamal Murray, I think may hurt eventually Jokic's case because it'll affect the overall success of the Denver Nuggets, which will then, in turn affect the narrative around what Jokic has been doing. So Joel Embiid has been dominant coming out of this injury. If he keeps that up, and if the 76ers continue to stay at the top of the East, I think this MVP is Embiid's to capture.
All right, well, we definitely hope that all the players can get healthy enough and those who have to work extra hard in their absence can step it up for when it matters the most. And that, of course, coming up quicker than we realize in the postseason. All right, Ros, thank you, lady. Thanks for coming to the Sports Nation.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.